I know you've been struggling with this, but you don't have to change to fit in with us, okay? We're a family. A fucked up family, but we're a family.
Thanks, Sherise.
What's going on, y'all? How's everyone doing today? I hope that y'all's day, week, month, hour, minute, whatever has been going great. I have wanted to make this video for so long, but I wasn't sure what I wanted it to look like. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to say. I wasn't sure what content I wanted it to be. So listen, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna talk about the show. This video probably will not be my longest video in the world.
That's right. You're a big fat phony.
But I really think it's something I want to touch on, and then maybe we can have more discussion from there. So as you can see from the title of the video, we are going to be talking about Jordan and Sherise from Wicked City. Listen, these are two characters that are probably my favorite characters on the show. I feel like, I love all the characters and I have different reasons that I love all of them. I feel like I use the term favorite for Jordan and Sherise because they're characters that I tend to relate to in different ways. Jordan is, listen, I love Jordan down, and Jordan is me sometimes. That's the thing about it. Is like Jordan and I are low-key the same person, and that's the whole thing about it. Now, as far as Sherise goes, I feel like on the surface level, we really don't have a lot going on, but when you get down to it, Sherise is very loyal to her friends. Sherise is always trying to do something. It may not come out the best, but she always has everyone's best interest at heart, and she makes decisions sometimes that are based in maybe a little bit of hastiness and emotion, but we're gonna get to that. And before we get started, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube, leave a little comment, and turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified whenever I have a new video coming out. So if you have not seen Wicked City, it's a supernatural drama that is centered in Atlanta, and it focuses on a coven of witches. They're also a friend group. We kind of watch the friend group dissolve a little bit, but we watch them as someone in season 1 comes in, turns the group on its head, and then in season 2, everybody just kind of splintered doing their own thing, and we watch them navigate how they're going to bring each other back to get season 2 is my favorite season so far. We got renewed for season 3, so keep that in mind. We are renewed for season 3 and they finished filming, so season 3 will be out sometime later this year. I'm not sure when, but baby, I'm so ready for that. Now, Sherise Baker is a witch who has the power of suggestion. So when she uses her power, her eyes turn purple, and the eyes of the person that she is making the suggestion to kind of glazes over with this white haze almost. I'm not sure really how to describe it, but you'll see it. But but initially she has to make physical contact with the person. And I'm not sure whether that's something that she thought she had to do or whether that was an actual limit of the power, because sometimes I think those things can go hand in hand. Sometimes we think that we have to do something, and so that's how we utilize it. So I always wondered if Sherise thought that she had to use her power that way, and so she just did. But that's a me thing that ain't got nothing to do with this story. Now, as her power progresses, she does not have to be physically next to her target. She can sit at the opposite end of the room. She can sit completely away from them. She doesn't even have to be looking at them. She can just do what she's doing, suggest what she's suggesting, and go from there. Now, one thing about her power that does happen eventually, she says that she's almost to the point where she feels like she can control people completely. So she can make them do what she wants them to do. She can manipulate emotions. She can make people feel things that aren't really there. She can make their minds tell them that they're feeling those things. So her power is essentially mind control at a certain point. So now that we have a little bit of backstory on those two characters, let's get into the meat of why we're here today. One of the things I wanted to do in this video was kind of talk about, I think, the reception that these two characters get specifically, because I know a lot of people like Sherise, but then I think it's very easy to point the finger at Sherise because of what happens in season 1 that leads to her being, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, a magical slave in season 2. Like, my girl is in magical captivity. Baby, my girl has a collar. My girl is working, okay? My girl is forced into labor that she does not want to do. She cannot escape. She cannot talk to her friends. My girl is in magical captivity. She is two steps away from being in a cage. And her captivity really was kind of facilitated by the fact that she chose to work with the villain of season 1. And it just led her down a horrible path that, listen, by the time my girl is caught by the handler. So the handler is a magical dealer, but he deals in magical people. So he's like a magical slave trader. He's a magical trafficker. And he sees the potential that Sherise's power has. He takes my girl. This is the thing. Sherise makes decisions in season 1 that align her to the wrong side. So it aligns her to the villains, to the bad guys. And Sherise is interesting in that way that I almost feel like she always ends up, whether she chooses to or not, she always ends up somewhere near the bad guys. In season 1, she makes a choice to work with Claudette because she wants Camille gone. And literally at a certain point, Claudette is like, girl, you too deep in it now, baby. It ain't no getting out. You might as well go on ahead and stay where you at, because I promise you, I got you. And then, like I said, she's taken into captivity by the handler at the end of season 1. So in season 2, we see her in magical captivity, and we see that she's almost numb to it. Like, she's still trying to rebel in little ways, and she's trying to tell the handler, like, you don't control me, even though I know you kind of do, but you don't. And, you know, her power of suggestion is sort of what stops him from being able to manipulate her mind the way that he's able to manipulate everyone else's mind, which I think is very important to her character, that she's so strong-willed, not even just in herself, but also in her power. Her power literally is giving her the ability to reject someone else's control over her. A big part of Sherise choosing to work with Claudette, though, is that Claudette and Darlitra actually, and this is spoiler territory, so just, you know, be cool and calm. But a big part of their story is that Claudette and Darlitra, who is Claudette's assistant, well, she's also like in captivity, magical captivity. Like, Claudette has her, she got her from the handler. Girl, it's a whole, the handler is just cutting up, is what I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, Claudette and Darlitra actually take Tabitha's life while Sherise is in the room. Well, they think they took her life, and while Sherise is in the room. So this is a whole new level, because Tabitha is Sherise's mentor. She's the coven's mentor. She's taken all of them in, and she's chosen to teach them as much about magic as she can, or at least is willing to. And now Sherise is in so deep that she couldn't even stop Claudette from doing this, and she can't turn to her friends and say, this has happened. I don't know what else to do at this point. So I think it's really easy to point the finger at her and say that she brought this on herself. She did all of this to herself. If she hadn't turned on her friends, if she hadn't decided to work with Claudette, then she would have been okay. She never would have been in the line of fire. Maybe they could have worked together. But I don't think that that's fair to say. Mainly because I think the thing to remember with the handler is that he was going to come for them anyway. Like, really, he came there because he sensed great power, specifically the death magic that Camille has. And so he could have got them anyway. Like, Sherise doing what she did with Claudette really had nothing to do with that. That was kind of independent of everything else. And I just feel bad because Sherise is a character who I think doesn't always know how to express herself. And we even see that in her relationship with Taj, who is her friend slash maybe he's more, maybe he's not. She wants him to be, but she really don't. Like, we see that Sherise is not able to really express her emotions like that. And in that, she views Camille as the reason that all this is happening. Because in her mind, if Camille hadn't come, the handler wouldn't be there. Claudette never would have come into their lives. Like, all of this could just be alleviated if Claudette could just take Camille away. Like, if she could just get her and take her away, her friends will be safe, everything will go back to normal, they don't even have to worry about it. And so that's why Sherise makes this, you know, metaphorical deal with the devil, because she's truly thinking that this is the only way that she's going to be able to help. And The thing about someone like Sherise is she's so hyper independent that I do think it would have been very difficult for her to like go to Tabitha and say, Tabitha, we need to come up with a plan. We need to figure out how to get this girl out of here, something like that. And especially with the way Sherise becomes friends with the group, especially not Sherise, I'm sorry, the way that Camille becomes friends with the group and the way that she sort of becomes one of them to a certain extent, I think it would have been much harder, and Sherise saw that. And I think she starts to see more and more how, okay, I feel like I'm on the outside a little bit more, so I have to get this done. And another thing I think that's really important to remember about a character like Sherise and her storyline is, while they never specifically say that her, power is tied to her personality, Sherise is a person whose power is very dangerous in and of itself. Because up to this point, she's made a pact that she's not gonna use her power on her friends. They've come to, because they realize like this could get very dangerous very quickly. It could get out of hand. Like even Taj is looking at her kind of like, is this right? Because I feel like they start to kind of get into that discussion of consent when it comes to her power. Like how far is too far? And then we see how far she's willing to go if it means helping her friends. She at one point entrances Mona to make her love, well, she already loves. Mona and Angela are an item. And instead of letting their relationship go the way it is, because after what happens to Mona happens, she's not feeling like herself. Sherise feels like she can just use her power and she can make them feel better. Or put them back together because she thinks that they're meant to be together. And I think that things like that show how easy it is, even when you're not necessarily corrupted. I think it goes to show how when you have a power that can manipulate people's will, their minds, their emotions, how tempting and how easy it can be to just say, let me do this, and then we'll get to our desired effect and outcome. So my point really in having this discussion about Sherise and how her power relates to will, how it relates to choice, is Sherise is fully aware of what her power can actually do. She's fully aware of the potential that it has. And I think there's something like that in anybody's hand. I don't even think that it would just be a certain kind of person. I think that the temptation to use that sort of a power to have the desired outcome is a little bit too much not to even try it once. And when Claudette is trying to enlist Sherise, that's actually one of the things that she does is tempt her with being able to use her power for influence and money and fame and things like that. Like that's how she's trying to get her into the fold and telling her your power is so much more than just making eye contact with people. Your power is so much more than touching people and making a quick little suggestion. You can have whatever you want within this power. And I think that goes to Sherise's head because she realizes I actually really can. And that's one of the things that I love they didn't shy away from. And she didn't just say like, oh, well, no, we made a pact that we would never do this. We made a pact and I can't go too far because this and that. No, she explores that part of her power. And then when she sees how it could come back and bite her, she's like, oh, Lord Jesus, this is too much. So because Sherise is such a multi-layered character, I just feel like when it comes to her turning on her friends, I don't think she actually turned on her friends. I think she genuinely was trying to look out for them. She was genuinely trying to protect them because she saw Camille as being the source of the issues. And Jordan and Sherise actually have a discussion where they talk about the fact that they're constantly trying to fix people. And they're so much alike, and I think that's why they're friends, is because they have that in common. They are constantly trying to do things that they feel like are going to help other people. Sherise, I think, just gets kind of that view of like selfishness because she's on the other side of it. She's working with evil. She's got this power that can manipulate. I say evil. She's working with the villains, and she's got this power that can literally make people do what she wants them to do. So it's like, I think that she just got mixed up in this misguided attempt to do what was right. Hello everybody, so this is me, this is editing me from the future. I just wanted to take a quick moment and thank you for watching the video. I am going to split it up into two. Initially, I was going to do one long video about both of them, but after listening to it, I was like, you know what, I think this will make two really good videos. So that's what we're going to do. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have any kind of feedback on how you would prefer to hear information, how you would prefer to see it, please feel free to let me know in the comments in a respectful way. Don't go crazy, because this is something that I am starting. I am, on the path to learning how to present, how to do things like that. So please, any suggestions would be amazing. I'm going to put all of the socials for the Wicked City cast and crew in the comments, but I'm going to put their Instagram because it's just a lot to go through all of their stuff. So I'm just going to put their Instagrams. Please go show them some love. Please go follow them, share their projects. Just send them some general love and let them know Galen sent you. So I will see you guys here next time when we talk about Jordan, and I'm so excited for y'all to hear what I have to say about my girl. And before we do end, I just want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for keeping the channel afloat, for keeping me afloat. And thank you so much for just loving me, child. I will see y'all next go round. Bye.
G will set us free. The power of G will set us free.